It was a chilly autumn evening when Greg Thompson moved into the old Victorian house on Maple Avenue. He had inherited the property from a distant uncle he barely knew. They say that inheriting such a place comes with a history, and Greg was about to learn that the past often haunts the living. The house loomed ominously against the dimming sky, its peeling paint and overgrown gardens revealing years of neglect. As he stepped inside, the musty air filled his lungs, and the floor creaked under his weight. Shadows danced along the walls, giving the impression that the house itself was watching him. Greg started unpacking, trying to shake off the eerie feeling that seemed to cling to him. It was only after nightfall that he began to hear the strange noises. At first, it was a soft thumping sound, echoing through the corridors. But as the days passed, those noises grew louder, accompanied by unsettling whispers that slithered through the air like smoke. One night, while trying to sleep, Greg was abruptly awoken by the sound of stumbling footsteps in the hallway. His heart raced as he cautiously tiptoed to the door, peering out into the darkness. The house was still. He convinced himself it had been a figment of his imagination, a byproduct of exhaustion. But deep down, he felt something sinister lurked within the walls. The following day, as Greg explored the attic, he came across an old trunk filled with letters and photographs from the late 1800s. The letters chronicled the life of a family that had once lived there. Most notably, there was a story about a boy, Benjamin, who had mysteriously vanished under odd circumstances. The last letter mentioned whispers in the night, which became a tradition for the family to ignore. As he read the final letter, a chill ran down his spine. The mention of Benjamin felt personal, as if the boy was trying to reach out from the past. Unnerved, Greg decided to confront the growing unease he felt in the house. He shrugged off the idea that the whispers or the footsteps were anything more than his own imagination running wild. As days turned into weeks, Greg's life began to unravel. Objects around the house would vanish only to reappear in odd places, drawing a line between reality and the strange. At times he would catch glimpses of shadows darting around the corners of his vision, almost taunting him. One afternoon, he set up his camera to capture what he could only hope was a prank his mind was playing. To his horror, when he reviewed the footage, there was a fleeting glimpse of a pale boy with hollow eyes staring right back at him. Panic washed over him, but Greg was determined to understand what was happening. He delved deeper into the history of the house, uncovering more about Benjamin. The boy had not only vanished but was presumed to have met a tragic fate due to a violent storm that struck the family's land. As Greg pieced together the events, he felt a growing connection to Benjamin, as if the boy was seeking acknowledgement. The experiences escalated. Greg began to hear more than just whispers. Voices filled his mind, crying for help, crying for release. The temperature in the house dropped dramatically, and one night, while taking a shower, he felt a cold breath graze his neck, sending him into a panic. Desperate for answers, Greg sought out a paranormal investigator. Sarah, the investigator, was well known for dealing with poltergeist activity. She arrived with an array of equipment cameras, EVP recorders, and protective charms. As she walked through the house, her face turned pale when she reached the attic. "There's a strong energy here," she explained, her tone grave. "Benjamin never left. He's trapped between realms, and he's trying to communicate." That night, they conducted a séance. The room was thick with tension as they called out to the boy. Suddenly, the air turned electric, and the lights flickered violently. Objects began to move, and a chilling voice broke through the cacophony of chaos. "Help me." The next night was unlike any other. Greg couldn't sleep, haunted by the cries from the séance. As he lay in bed, the whispers returned, louder and angrier this time. "Find me," they urged. He sensed Benjamin's frustration growing, as if the house was a gilded cage, trapping the boy's spirit. Determined to uncover the truth, Greg decided to confront the spirit. He returned to the attic, armed with nothing but his flashlight and an overwhelming sense of dread. "Benjamin, if you can hear me, I want to help you. What do you need from me?" he called out. The temperature dropped sharply, and the whispers grew into a furious howl. The attic doors slammed shut, trapping him inside. Panic set in, but amidst the chaos, he heard a clear voice, soft yet desperate. "Find my body." Driven by compassion and a sense of urgency, Greg searched the property, led by the whispers guiding him. He eventually stumbled upon an old, overgrown patch in the backyard, where the earth was oddly disturbed. He dug into the soft soil, heart pounding, until his shovel hit something solid. It was a small, battered box. With trembling hands, he opened it, revealing a collection of old dolls and a locket containing a picture of Benjamin, eyes wide with innocence. More importantly, nestled within was a skeletal hand, brittle and yellowed with age. Tears streamed down Greg's face as he realized he had finally uncovered the tragic secret. In that moment, the house reacted. The air felt lighter, and the whispers transformed into a gentle embrace, expressing gratitude. The energy shifted around him, no longer angry but warm and inviting. Greg knew he had set Benjamin free. After the discovery, the house transformed. The darkness that once clung to the walls faded away, replaced by an air of calm. The creaking floorboards became mere echoes of the past, and the whispers became memories that lingered ever so gently. Greg decided to make the house his home. It was a place of healing, a tribute to Benjamin's memory. As the seasons changed, he transformed the attic into a cozy space filled with sunlight and warmth, a stark contrast to the shadows that once haunted it. Every now and then, he would hear a faint whisper echo in the halls, a reminder of the boy whose spirit he had freed. And every autumn, as leaves turned to gold, he felt a comforting presence by his side, assuring him that no one is truly lost as long as their story is remembered.